And launching on October 19th on GameFound, we have Too Many Bones Unbreakable, and this plays 1 to 2 players and takes about 60 to 180 minutes to play. And this is an expansion that's actually a standalone conclusion to the Too Many Bones franchise, so you don't actually need any other content in order to play this game. This is also going to be the final campaign for Too Many Bones, so if you want those promo cards or exclusive content, this might be your last opportunity to try and get your hands on them. And if you're not familiar with Too Many Bones, it's a very popular game with one of the highest rankings over on BoardGameGeek with an overall rank of 40. And I'm not surprised that this one's our Discord pick of the week. And this is a cooperative game where players are controlling a character who are a member of a party set on a quest to take out a final boss. The components in this game are incredible, so expect a very premium experience, but also a premium price tag. And I think this is the only game where I've seen a character player board made from a neoprene mat. And your characters are wildly upgradable in this game. You'll be rolling all sorts of skill dice, and there are a ton of different dice. And all the characters play very unique from each other with their own specialties and abilities and weaknesses, as well as a ton of different abilities and powers that are all outlined on their character sheet that is very reminiscent of the character sheets you might see in role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons. And just to make things a little bit more weird, each character and monster is represented by a stack of chips, and the amount of chips in that stack represents their health. Of course, this isn't too weird if you're familiar with chip theory games because they include chips in all their games. But on your turn, you're going to be rolling a number of dice equal to the value of your dexterity, and you can roll either attack and defense dice, or you can roll any skill dice that you've unlocked throughout the game. And rolling skill dice allows you to upgrade different character-specific skills or improve different stats for your character, like your dexterity, so you can actually roll more dice in the future. And a couple of the reasons that this game is so popular is because you can upgrade your character in so many ways, and you can play the same character over and over and always discover a new way to play or some new skills to unlock and chain together that you haven't experimented with before. Another reason this game is so popular is because the dice rolling is really tight, and it always gives you an opportunity even if you roll poorly. If you happen to roll any bones, that die fails and it doesn't help you in your battle, but you will get to put it onto your bone track, which as you upgrade throughout the game will allow you to unlock some special abilities or devastating attacks. So when it seems like the end is near and the odds are stacked against you, this is a really handy trick to have up your sleeve. All battle takes place on this battle mat, and players will be trying to position the different characters based on their strengths and weaknesses and what's most strategic depending on the enemies that you're facing up against. And as I mentioned before, the enemies are also represented by stacks of chips, but they'll also have their own unique characteristics and abilities that will activate while they're in combat. If players can continue to defeat their enemies and upgrade their characters enough to take on even stronger enemies and eventually take out that final tyrant, then they win the game. And the new standalone expansion is going to feature 2 new characters as well as 5 new tyrants as they try to traverse the dangerous caverns underground using the same mechanisms that you're familiar with from Too Many Bones. And if you're familiar with Too Many Bones, you can expect this expansion to be about the same size as the Undertow expansion, but this one's going to have more of a lava theme, and it's going to have a brand new battle mat. And what makes this player mat different is that it'll be covered in double-sided chips that represent either hot lava or hardened cooled lava. And these are going to flip throughout the game, causing damage to whatever characters or enemies are on those tiles, although some enemies can be immune to heat. But I think this is really going to add a lot more excitement to the battle because it's going to add some more clever ways to injure your opponents, but it's also going to incentivize players to move around a lot more in the board because there wasn't really much incentive to move your characters around once the battles actually started in the original game. And if you're wondering, all this new content will fit in the trove chest with all the existing content, and this campaign's also offering a crossover loot pack if you subscribe now, so go ahead and subscribe to the campaign if it interests you. And these will feature some different loot cards that reference some aspects of other chip theory games. But that's not all, because this campaign's also going to include a bunch of new material for all their previously released content, and that's going to include 3 additional characters, as well as a ton of extra content for the existing expansions. And all that previous content from previous campaigns will also be offered in this campaign, although some of it in limited quantities that you'll only be able to buy from the Pledge Manager.